There is a place where discussion and debate are still welcome, a place not completely governed by aging professors or cultural elites, but overseen by students who seek truth, clarity, and understanding. This place invites thinkers, writers, and speakers to openly propose and defend their ideas. In a world where disagreement is often shouted down, this forum is rare. The Cambridge Union is one of the last refuges of civil debate. Dr. Carol Swain was invited by the student-led Cambridge Union to debate the motion, "This House believes BLM's intentions were more important than its methods," to take the negative position. Was it a setup? An attempt to embarrass a scholar assumed to hold conservative views? Would she be mocked, or worse? None of that mattered. Dr. Swain is a seasoned academic, tenured at Princeton and Vanderbilt. She has spent her professional life defending truth in hostile environments. She answered the call. England, the land of William Wallace, Robert the Bruce, Churchill, and Thatcher, a place shaped by courage, liberty, and conviction. Though not a trained debater, Dr. Swain prepared relentlessly. Hours of study. She was ready. Between preparation, she walked the historic grounds where C.S. Lewis, Sir Isaac Newton, John Milton, and William Wilberforce once studied. She observed the battle of ideas firsthand, including voices promoting communist collectivism and rejecting individual liberty. And she followed others who had spoken there before, continuing a tradition of reason, logic, and faith. One speaker was more special than all others, inspiring and relevant, Charlie Kirk. The night of the debate arrived. Thursday, October 16th, Dr. Swain, poised, gracious, and confident, engaged students and faculty alike. Hundreds of students filled the Cambridge Union debate hall, energized, attentive, and respectful. Parliamentary rules applied: no insults, no shouting, no interruptions. She was the last to speak, calm, measured, clear.
We now move on to our closing speech in opposition of the motion, and our last speaker for this evening, Dr. Carol Swain. Born into abject poverty in rural Southwest Virginia, Dr. Carol Swain, a high school dropout, went on to earn 5 degrees, holding a PhD from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and an MSL from Yale. She also earned early tenure at Princeton and full professorship at Vanderbilt, where she was professor of political science and a professor of law. Today, she's a sought-after cable news contributor, a best-selling author, a prominent national speaker, and an entrepreneur. Dr. Swain, you have the ears of the House.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And you're here because you care. And I'm going to ask you to listen very carefully to what I'm saying, even though you all came here predisposed in one direction or another. A wise man once said, "The road to hell is paved with good intentions." Good intentions are meaningless without effective, principled methods to achieve them. Black Lives Matter's intentions were never clearly articulated. As expressed, its intentions were vague and disjointed. BLM talked reform, but offered no clear direction. To judge BLM by its intent alone is to excuse its provable, flawed methods. I urge you to reject the House motion. Methods and not intentions define a movement's true impact and its worthiness. As we move forward as people of goodwill, let us judge social movements by their methods, not just their lofty aspirations. Thank you so much. Again, I'm honored to be here, and I wish you well as you continue your education and as you grapple with these difficult decisions. Thank you.
The audience listened. Voting was simple. The students walked through the door they agreed with. Yes, no, no opinion. The results were announced.
66. The noes, 171. The divisions, 190. The noes have it. The noes have it.
Dr. Swain's team won by a landslide. Students lined up to talk, ask questions, to seek understanding. A clear sign that many young people are searching for truth beyond slogans and indoctrination. Dr. Swain was humbled, grateful, energized.
When Charlie Kirk debated May 19, 2025, it was seen almost like a setup, an ambush. I had people tell me it could be a setup, but there was not a moment where I thought that I wouldn't accept the invitation because I knew a lot about the topic. And I felt like at the end of the day that my knowledge of the topic would be a decisive factor. Plus, I am a scholar, and Cambridge is known as a very scholarly place. So I just thought I would go and present evidence, and I think it worked because I did present a presentation more like, I guess, a faculty lecture, and that carried the weight at the end of the day. But there were lots of things that happened between the time I accepted and the date, October 16th. And so not only was there Charlie Kirk's assassination, but there was also a free speech protest. The head of the Oxford Student Union, who posted really ugly, vile things after Charlie Kirk's assassination. And so I think that embarrassed a lot of people in the country that someone at Oxford would do that. And the students may have been more receptive, even though a lot of them didn't agree with Charlie Kirk. No one wanted him to be assassinated, but the majority of the students believed that you should be able to have free speech without risking your life. That's what universities used to be about, being exposed to divergent views, critical thinking. And I found it so interesting that some of the proposition speakers, or the ones that stood on the other side of my position, they kept talking about critical thinking when they were actually doing the opposite. I received an email from someone that was in the audience. "You were excellent, Carol. Very well done!" Exclamation point. I was horrified at the deliberate misinformation being peddled by the other side and the emotive language being used. But you very powerfully gave the facts. And then she said, "I would love to have said something in your support when said she did not know what a Marxist was and therefore wasn't a Marxist." And the lady said, "Thanks be to God, you were well up to the challenge." And what I found most fascinating about this whole trip was how God orchestrated things. Because initially I was coming along. I decided, well, it just makes sense to have a team, and just how God had already orchestrated how we work together as a team. And this was like working together in a totally new way, because the ability to rehearse the speech and edit the speech up to the last minute, with people that could offer substantive suggestions and feedback, that was invaluable. But I don't think I would have enjoyed the trip as much if I had been alone.
From deep poverty to one of the world's most respected forums, God is at work, and truth still has a voice.